shall be a dedication, spilling our blood, we count a privilege. The wave is thundered, which emboldens the free, shall always be a flag of liberty. We shall emerge triumphant from this ordeal, and through the crucible unscathed we'll pass. When we are poised, the wounds of battle to heal, we shall remember those who died in mass. Then shall our trumpets build the glorious song of victory. We scarred our minds around. Oh God, protect us from the hidden pitfall. Guide all our movement lest we go astray. Give us the strength to hear the humanist call, to give and not to count their cost each day. Bless those who rule to serve with resoluteness, to make this climb a land of righteousness.
I'm a man, Going back in my continent, they are killing my brothers in subjugation. Oh Lord, no one wants to know now why things are going wrong, and no one cares to know why things are going wrong. I know it's because we don't want to accept Jah. I've given my life to Jah. That's why I sing now. I'm a man, oh Lord. I'm a man, oh Lord, oh Lord. I'm a man, born to live and to stay, but to survive. Oh Lord, I'm a man.
Yes, of course, we are born to rule and we are born to survive. I will say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Biafra Human Right and Freedom Radio Station. Biafra Human Right and Freedom Radio Station. It is generally referred to as the child of circumstance, considering what we are going through as a people. Biafra Human Rights Radio Station is being anchored by Deputy Rada Director Uche Ukafo-Mefo. Uche Ukafo-Mefo is from Abatete. Abatete is in Anambra State, and Anambra State is Biafra land. He's the man who has simply assured us that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. This is one truth not every one of us will understand, but it's a matter of time you will. And by the special grace of the Almighty Creator, I remain George Onyibe. I hail from Agbo. Agbo is in Delta State, Anyoma Province, and of course, Biafra land. I will go ahead to acknowledge every member of the FACTO customary government of Biafra, implementation committee, as well as advisory body. Alhaji Asare Dokubo, of course, as the chairman of the implementation committee, and Dr. Ukado as the head of the advisory body, our deputy chairperson, Adarita Anibogo, of course, Mazi Uche Nasibu, in charge of Homeland Affairs, and numerous other people like Ikena Wanonenyi, Dr. Unwego, I must pronounce your name, and so many. All of you acknowledge you tonight. I will take my time also to acknowledge members of the Biafra Nation Alliance. You know the specific role you are meant to play. Mazi Okenkwo Paul, Onwozurumbo, Dr. Okenkwo, Mbadike, Ezekwesili, my daddy in the Lord, Mazi Ubide, so numerous to mention. Odogene, Udowele, Agunwani, Ada Biafra, so numerous to mention. All our administrators, Biafra land administrator, down to the northern Nigerian administrator, the western Nigerian administrator, Europe representative, America, every other Mazi Ukuyongoka. It is painstaking to begin to mention your name. But if we cannot acknowledge ourselves, if we cannot recognize what every one of us is doing, and then we really don't value that thing. Because as far as I know, there is consequence for our action, and a day will come, we will all give account of our action. This evening I acknowledge all of you. But of course, there is some of our misguided brothers whose only duty is to rubbish any other person talking about Biafra agitation. They don't even understand the implication of the position we have placed ourselves in a time like this. I am talking of the Kano recruit. They are on the social media now. All they do is they insult everybody. They curse everybody. They rubbish what you are doing. And then one should begin to wonder. You can imagine if all of us were on the same point, fighting to restore Biafra. You can imagine where we will be by now. I tell you who are giving the mandate to bring Biafra. We have an issue. But of course, I will not digress beyond that, because I acknowledge you. Those of you on the line already, please call others to come. Then who am I to proceed without acknowledging the Creator? The one who sits in heaven and presides over the affairs of man. The one who has set my foot upon this path that I must follow. I will acknowledge him and all of you who are out there genuinely fighting for the restoration of Biafra. You would have backed down when evil and blooded man confronted you. In most cases, what are we gaining for what we are doing? So much. It's not visible, but so much. We can only pray that our labor will not be in vain. It doesn't matter. Okwa gị bụ echeta obi esike o. Okwa gị ka anyị ji aga. Okwa gị kewara osimiri imekwa ọnwa anya ga ka ọ tụrụ ime o. Okwa gị yo Chineke o. Igbo ke emiri na-ebu ogwe. Okwa gị yo Chineke ma na-ebuchi Igbochi me na-ebuchi ebuchi anya anyị ji ahụ ụzọ. Agada gbajiri zọ nwoke obiọma. Olileanya nke ndị Biafra o. Anyị na-erere ọkụ na anyị na-agbara ọkụ. Ogene ka anyị ga-eji tụrụ gị ye gị nna. Anyị ga na-akwụsị ala na-enye gị ekene o. Na-ebuchi m o. He said. And of course, this evening, without wasting much of our time, we go ahead to our topic yesterday, which was simply titled "A Call to Support the Biafran de facto customary government." This should be considered as the part 2 of this very discussion. All this while we are taking time to study the environment and watch what is happening, and of course, believing that those who are responsible for minding that very ministry will begin to get themselves ready to actually present to the world what they have to offer. The Biafran customary government, headed by Alhaji Asari Dokubo, it is the way to go to restore Biafra. But our people cannot just by name jump out and follow. A lot of people are curious. They want to know what is your agenda. They want to know how do you people want to do it. You want to know many things. And I promise you tonight, you will know everything. It is just stage by stage. We may have to take time to explain the roles of the de facto customary government of Biafra, as it will enable you to see the need why you must rise up and give your unalloyed support to them. First of all, this is the media platform. Those of you who are in journalism is guided by rules, law, principle, as the case may be. You are taught on how to present your broadcast, and you are very guided depending on the law of the country you are broadcasting from. And so even sometimes when you see the truth, you cannot say it because the ethics of your profession as regard the constitution that governs the country you are broadcasting for forbid you from saying that. For instance, Nigeria. When they kill 20 Nigerians today, the journalist will tell you it's true. And so when they eventually announce to you that 100 Nigerians were slaughtered at a particular region, my brother, add 10 to that back, because according to the rules placed on them by the Nigerian state, you can't tell the people all the truth. And so those of you in journalism understand that when you look at the issue of journalism, there are things that is allowed. The media has different role to play. It could serve as a tool, a weapon of intimidation, a weapon of blackmail. The government of the day can use the media to put fear in people. The government of the day can use the media to deceive the people. They have different role. It depends on whose interest is being protected. And so on the agitation platform, it cannot be like the media. And when some people come around to tell me how we should broadcast like Yoruba Gota media, according to Nnamdi Kanu, when you want me to come to the media and then sound polite like those in the Fox News, you are getting it wrong. Our case is different. We are not here to sell Maggi and tomato. We are not here to work on the psychology of our people and begin to control their emotion. We are here to tell them the truth. The truth about the pending danger, the truth about our situation and circumstance, the truth about our action, the truth and nothing but the truth. And it hurts. The truth hurts. Very bitter. She is naked. And she will stop at nothing to protect, to defend that which she is. For us to survive in this journey, in this quest to restore Biafra, I tell you the truth, there are a lot of things we need to know. I have to create this scenario to make you understand the role that the Biafra de facto customary government is meant to play. In our broadcast yesterday, we were able to present to you a comprehensive definition of the de facto customary government of Biafra, which I phrased by saying that it is the government of the people, by the people, to improvise against every external aggression against our people, by using marriage as an example or comparison to explain. I try to make you understand that the de facto government may not be legally recognized, but it is expected and should be appreciated. I remember I told us about marriage, that more than 50% of marriage in Nigeria, they are not legally. More than 90% of Nigerians are not legally married. Why? Because some of them begin to find obstacle from the religious aspect. They give you condition. You don't do your marriage. I remember a brother who want to go for church wedding, and they told the brother he has to go for HIV test. The brother actually don't have money to do all those tests, which in one way it's okay. And then told the church, I will not do that. I don't have the money. Moreover, whatever you want to prevent from happening now has happened already. And because of that, they married without going to church. Sometimes some married without going to see the parents of the bridegroom, of the bride rather. Sometimes some people get married going to the law court, and sometimes the most requirements are not met. And some of these marriages started by the virtue that there is a genuine love between the both of them. There is a genuine interest they want to protect, and so they break all protocol and get married. Some of them have children who are moral, children who are educated, disciplined, children who are mature, children who are grown up, but their marriage was not legal. And most of them, because of their level of exposure, belief, and approach to things, will send their parents to go and do wedding. You can see sometimes somebody 80, 70, they are doing marriage blessing, they are doing church wedding, they go back to court wedding, they go and do many things. Now you will discover that that marriage actually would be referred to as illegal, but because they were able to stand to defend the overall interest of the union, in the end everybody are proud of them. People love them. The same thing trying to define the de facto government. We may not have the support of Nigeria and can never have the support of Nigeria to disintegrate Nigeria. In order to make our voice heard, in order to present our matter before the global community, we have to take a drastic step to begin to do what is necessary, to begin to reorganize our people, because without a government structure put in place, it is impossible for you to be able to do anything progressive as a people. That is the reason why we are facing some of the challenges we are facing today in this Biafra agitation. And so the de facto customary government is introduced to stand as a medium to improvise. It is the risk taker of this agitation. It becomes the shock absorber of this journey. And not until you understand what they represent and begin to get involved, my brother, we are not going anywhere. Having considered this, we must proceed now to look at one of the major ingredients that enables a successful marriage, which is the opening of conversation. Having considered or compared the de facto customary government to that of marriage, it is important we begin to find out what makes marriage successful. And then you will know some of the ingredients that will make the de facto customary government to be successful. And I will want to start by pointing out one, which we are going to consider this evening. What makes marriage successful? It is as simple. It is to open up conversation. You see a husband and wife who are not in communication, I can assure you that marriage is heading for collapse. But when there is a means of communication between a husband and wife, you will discover that they succeed in their marriage more than any other. And of course, conversation can come in different form. Conversation comes in different way. Our people must therefore understand the level of enormous sacrifice and burden that is laid on the shoulder of all the members of the de facto customary government, and the need for everyone to give them the necessary support for them to be able to survive. Comprehensively, I want us to review one of the functions of the de facto customary government, which is the opening up of conversation. Now, when you talk about civilization, most people think when they say you are civilized, that means you have access to electricity, you have skyscraper building all around in your country, you have tiled road, you have pipe-borne water, you have good education sector. Of course, that is not just the genuine meaning, the true meaning of civilization. The genuine meaning of civilization goes back into the dark age. Of course, before we look at this main function of the de facto government, you need to understand that in many ways it looks like we are not advanced. It's required that we have to go back now and consider some of the things that has happened during the dark age. I will want to use Athens and Sparta as an example. And I can only pray that God will help you to see and understand the position of the de facto government, the position of other pro-Biafran group, the position of individuals, and numerous departments. The traditions of Athens and Sparta says that the law was given to them by Solon and Le Krugers, the legendary figures who served as leaders. Anthems, as you know, Greece, as you know, become the pinnacle, become the pioneer, become the first civilized. They brought modern civilization. They didn't bring modern civilization through technology. They brought it through the law. The law in the sense that it created principle. These two traditions, they agree that their law are made by the assembly and is approved by the Senate. During the eras of myth, they say God gave law to Moses, the 10 Commandments. Other traditions during those era, those dispensations, have the same claim that their law was given to them by God. But the Greeks, the items, the Spartans, they told their people that their law was actually given to them by Draco and of course and Solon. And this law were made by the assembly. A particular assembly was responsible for making the law, and then they have another body known as the Senate that will approve the law that were made. This often begin endless blood feud. Before the creation of this law, the reason why they created this law was because most of the dispute they have before now always end up in blood feud. It was not until the middle of the 17th century, before the first Greek law was established officially, and this should be around 1620 BC. Draco, the lawgiver, wrote the first known law of the ancient Greece. And in general, he reviewed these laws in 3 stages. With these 3 stages, the legal system went through progress. Now, I am pointing out this area to you, so you will understand clearly where we are going to, where we are, and where we are coming from. Before now, if I have to go back to the Bible, we have the dispensation of law, you have the dispensation of conscience, among others. People were guided. Before the arrival of Draco and Solon, the people of Greece were functioning by conscience. When you do something wrong, the people who you have maybe killed will rise up, put the laws into their hand. They decide what will happen to you. But until men begin to reason, that was when the modern civilization started. They created law. This law was meant to guide them. This law will become the really strength that will lead them to the civilization we all enjoy today. Now, the people of Biafra, like the people of Greece, must create a body, a ministry, a government who will oversee these laws. Without these laws, there is no rule for anybody to break. Without this law, you cannot build the capacity of reasoning in such a way that it will favor everybody. But the ancient Greeks understand this truth. And so men came together and created some guideline, which is what Biafra should be looking out to the Biafran de facto customary government to make available to them in the coming days. Number one, I was saying that the Greeks introduced 3 stages of the law. Number one is referred to as pre-legal society. Pre-legal society. The only recognizable character of pre-legal society is that it has not been established. It has not established ways of dealing with dispute. The pre-legal society stage, they don't have any written law. They don't have it. That is the era of conscience. You kill somebody, the family member will look at you. Maybe it is accidental, maybe it is deliberate. They can say we will kill this person back. They can decide we will forgive this person. That was the first stage in the process of trying to develop the law. The second stage was referred to proto-legal society. They moved to the next stage and understand that most people without evidence may be accused of killing somebody, for instance, deliberately, whereas it was not intentional. And so they upgraded what they have a little bit by creating a system known as proto-legal society. Proto-legal society has rules as well as procedure for handling dispute. At this stage, there is no distinction between rules, of course talking about society standard. And this became the link between the anarchy pre-legal stage and the more rigid legal stage. On this third stage, they have to introduce a little bit law. It was not fully established, but at least it was able to checkmate the anarchists as well as those who are law abiding. And then the final stage of trying to develop the law, which eventually led to civilization, was referred to as legal, the legal society. Now, if Biafra must be established, a legal system of government for the people, by the people, must be established. That is the one of the major reasons why the Biafra de facto customary government is very important. We started from somewhere. I can remember vividly Dr. Kado talking to Nnamdi Kanu all the time. We have to initiate this process. We cannot delay our people further. And all these things fall on deaf ear. I remember those eras of Biafra Foundation. People want to talk about Biafra Foundation. I remember so many other groups that were in processes, solutions that were supposed to be introduced to create a form and a system of government in place, who actually may not be legalized by the Nigerian state, but to us as a people, it becomes a way. We talk about the how do they say it? I can't remember it. Some of you still remember that process of trying to open financial institutions for our people. In fact, the one they opened in America, is it not the one Nnamdi Kanu was trying to use to blackmail Ozurumba and Mazinwo Kenkwo? Now, before I digress further, we are trying to make you people understand that now for Greece to develop and become one of the founding nation of civilization, they went through three stages. In this very stage, which is the legal society, deemed it certain to act so undesirable as to warrant a punishment. This society has not given up the rules, but the rules did not necessarily result in punishment, because the law of the society linked with the art of punishment. Normally, a society must have developed a form of written in order to enter the stage. They introduced three forms. At this stage, this third stage, they have issues on ground. Remember, I said what we are trying to look at is that for the Biafran de facto customary government to function, they must open the front line of conversation. Greek, during their eras of civilization, they open up this conversation. And now I want to take time to review, see how we can review some of these agendas that will help us to be able to understand the role of the de facto customary government and the challenges we are facing at this moment, and the reason why we must stand our ground to make sure that the right thing is done. Early laws And now, after the third stage, he gave birth to the early laws, still citing the example from the Greeks. He said, after the Dark Age, about 12,000 BC to 900 BC, beginning at about 900 BC, the ancient Greek had no official law or punishment. Murders were settled by families written, who would have gone and killed the murderer. This often began endless blood flow. It was not until the middle of the 17th century BC that the Greek first began to establish official law. And around 620 BC, Draco, the lawgiver, wrote the constitution known as the written law of the ancient Greece. This law established Else as the penalty for homicide and was the only one of Draco's law that Solomon kept when he was appointed. Now they understand that we are a growing society. We are going large. Biafrans are waking up already. There is a massive Biafran incursion across the globe. Everybody is coming together already. And each of these groups have interest to protect. Each of these groups have issues to complain. Each of these groups have questions to ask. Each of these groups need explanation. Draco, at this point in time, in the early civilization of the Greek, understand that something must be done. And so they created 4 types of law. Having gone through 3 different stages of creating constitution, they furthered by bringing types of law. Now, at this stage, we have outgrown the previous stage. And if you fail to understand that and create the next line of the type of law that governs us, really having problem, confusion. Now, who will be able to do that? This must be people without interest. Who will be able to do that? This must be people who have the overall interest of the people at heart. And of course, by the brainstorming of genuine individuals who, if their only achievement in life is to bring Biafra to the limelight, came together and said, let's put an end to all this. Let us create this de facto customary government. And with the presence of this de facto customary government, we can now make laws. We can now create departments. We can now create ministry who will be responsible for handling every matter. And so that in the nearest future, whether you are from Greece or Athens, whether you are from Sparta, you cannot say this law is designed to favor anybody. Just the same thing Nigeria is running for. But many people will not want to approve of it, because eventually creating a de facto customary government opens up door to prevent anybody from exercising absolute authority, which eventually can corrupt absolutely. People were appointed, nominated, not because they were the best of the Biafran breed, because everybody's interest must be protected. And so they got to a stage. Draco understand that no, this society is becoming wider. This principle or rules is not enough to gather, because on daily basis they begin to see issues they've not bargained for. And if they have listened and do the right thing, they continue to survive. But when they fail to listen to do the right thing, believe me, the society has advanced. It has grown. In fact, you may be the one who found it. It has outgrown you. These are some of the challenges we are going today. When we come and we talk about it now, the Kano Zabo say continue to do your own. He has finished the stage he can survive. The stage we are now, he cannot do anything. It is the people that will do the right thing. He may be telling you, I will give you Biafra today. Tomorrow he will still tell you, no one man can give you Biafra. That is because the stage we are now, he either hand over every power to the de facto customary government, or then put us on a very long journey to wonder, maybe God knows how long in the wilderness of Nigeria. Now, this will take our mind back to what actually happened during the course of my broadcast yesterday. And somebody called and was asking question. How much were they paying you, Judge Onyibe and Onyibe, for? And how much are they paying you people in the Biafran Alliance Nation? We all know that question is an insult to me. But people like that are bypasser, and I don't take their word serious. When you are serious, you come and fight for our freedom. When you are serious, you come out, we know you are serious. And of course, I will expect people like that to call in. Because the more you call in and ask stupid questions, the more you enable me to expose Nnamdi Kanu atrocity, which we have not even checked the baggage. And of course, this led to certain misunderstanding between me and Mazi Ubidi. Of course, my daddy in the Lord. But it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything, because Mazi Ubidi remain one of the greatest men I will look up to in this struggle. Mazi Ubidi, Mazi Chemefo, and numerous others. I have tested their temperaments. But what we are doing here is not about Judge Onyibe. It's not about anybody. We are in a stage where avenues must be open. You cannot hide anything. Nobody at this time, Dracos, understand that you cannot hide anything from the people of the Greece. They must know the truth. If not, it will make us to go back into a further dispute among ourselves, and this will eventually spell doom for all of us when the day will come for us to stand together. And even at that stage, I must tell you, I take responsibility for any wrong that has been done by my constant confronting Mazi Ubidi. I take responsibility for that. But that will not stop me from telling you the truth. That will not stop me from expressing myself. Ordinarily, we are not for sale. And if you have your personal interest in this agitation, you will lead our people constantly to their death. Nobody should have anything. Nobody knows it all. Nobody is above corruption. And then nobody is in a better position to explain what they are going through. You people have no idea. The audience, those who are not members of IPOB, you have no idea what Nnamdi Kanu did to me with the gangster called DOS. Because I needed them to come to this stage. And if you are coming to tell me how to feel, how to cry, I will rebuke you. For 4 years on, almost 5 years, I was just looking at them. We have to tell ourselves for this truth. You see this Biafra struggle, we don't come out, we go nowhere. Biafra watchmen, we go nowhere. You won't understand it. If you know, the day I will start playing China Sanworu, Tony Zurumike, Chike Dosiem, Nenaya Anya, Azaya Oba, when I start playing their audio of how these people rubbish me, you will begin to wonder, how can this guy still be with these people? And that is because it is not about me. And I will never condemn a nation for any single individual. Come out, show your open support for the people killing us. The time where you are supposed to give power back to the people, you want to clinch to the power. Eventually, you become absolutely powerful. Nnamdi Kanu collect our media. Nnamdi Kanu control our money. Nnamdi Kanu control our thinking. Nnamdi Kanu want to control our religion. Nnamdi Kanu want to control how we walk. He want to control how we talk. And those of us who are anti Nnamdi Kanu now, how do you manage us? And now you need a system to manage the people. Is it because people who know what is wrong are keeping quiet? The people of items, the people of Sparta, understand that Xerxes, the king of Babylon, will destroy all of them if they do not have guided principle, if they do not review their conduct and activity within themselves. If they dare confront King Xerxes, they will be destroyed. And so the de facto customary government have role to play. But let's go back to what I was saying, and then we'll come back again. They created 4 types of law. One is referred to as the tort law, spelled as T-O-R-T. A tort law occurs when someone harm to you or to your property. Draco and Solomon wrote many of these laws. These laws have specific penalties for specific crime. Most crime involve monetary payment, penalties. Murder was a tort law, and the punishment was exile, as set by Draco under the Solon's law. Fine for rape was also introduced, and the penalty for theft depend on the amount stolen. Other offenses and penalty were things like the offense of a dog bite, the penalty for which was then to surrender the dog wearing a 3 cubit long wooden collar. Solomon even made law to serve as a guideline for specifying the punishment of house, walls, ditches, well, among others. The first law, the first type of law. Because you cannot say, I killed John Boo, and then they present me to the other family, and then that family don't like me, they will say I should die. And maybe John Boo was killed by me accidentally. The original law have to review. And that is why, compared to the law of Moses, those who kill people, they were banished. They have a particular island, a particular space, bush, where they have to run to for safety. I just forgot the name they called such place. The first law God gave Moses is create a place where murderers will be sent to until their case is reviewed. The era of the law of karma was ending. The era of principle, rules and regulation was coming up. Today, in this Biafra agitation, everybody is working hard. The meme, the Mozob, the beam, the Radio Biafra International, everybody, Biafra Nation Alliance, IPOB, everybody is working. But there is no rule. It looks like it's about popularity. It looks like it's about fame. And you forget that it is not about those of us who are representing the people, but rather it is about those we are representing. Our action today will certainly define how they will live their life tomorrow. But if honorable men stand up and by principle create a nation, you begin to see nations like Malaysia. You begin to see nations like Dubai. You begin to see nations like Singapore. You begin to see nations like India, who by way of principle built their nation. They guided their people in the path that they must stow in the nearest future. And all these principles were installed, even the emergence of such nation. Go to even Bangladesh. And that is why most of them refuse the religion of their colonial master. India refused, they rejected the religion. No, they accepted they accepted the tradition, the dressing lightly of their colonial master. They accepted education. Or rather, everything the colonial master gave to them, I beg your pardon, they rejected it. They only accept their education. Indians sometimes dress like Europeans. After all, Indian can be easily compared to America, because you have African Indian, you have British Indian, you have Arabian Indian, You have the Indian. They rejected everything the colonial master gave to them, only their education. And that is because people were thinking ahead of time, even before they came. Today, if Biafra comes now, somebody will come out and say, no Muslim. In fact, I was part of the people advocating it because of the atrocity of some people who hide under Islamic religion to commit mayhem. But because I sentimentally feel that it has to be, it doesn't make it right. And now a progressive society now will begin to consider. We have Muslims in our midst, and most of their law contradict that of Christians. And then you have the traditionalists, and most of their way of life contradict the Muslim. And then we have the free thinkers, most of their ways are biased to other religion. How do we manage them? Do we eliminate all of them? Do we create an atmosphere that will make all of them to coexist even without noticing their difference? This is civilization. And then people begin to debate. They will agree and they will not agree. Quarrel will come, hatred will come, but it is not because of the love I have for you that should determine my action today, but let it be the love we have for our people that will influence our decision tomorrow. And that law took care of certain problem. They now moved on, having created a third law, went and introduce another type of law referred to as family law. Family law, Solomon also created many family laws, which were laws that regulate the behavior of a man and a woman. He wrote laws on allowance in marriages and adoption, as well as laws concerning inheritance, supporting roles of parents. Parties for the law were not set. Marriage law, they went to create laws. Today you go to marry, they say pay money. The money you pay for marriage is not the value of the woman you are talking. They give you those conditions to see how much you value your wife. After all, what you buy so cheap, you don't take care of it. But when you buy something very expensive, you take care of it. They understand that as we are continuing, this Biafra cannot be considered to be cheap. It's not a cheap country. How is marriage going to be? The Arewa and Oduduwa have these laws in place without your knowledge. They have their customary government in place without talking about it. Is it easy for you as Igbo man to marry a Hausa woman? My brother, very hard though. Is this easy for you for Igbo man to marry Yoruba? Despite the fact that Yorubas are not as complicated like the Fulani. How many Igbo people are married to Fulani? How many Igbo people are married to Yoruba? But even at that, we have issues. The law exists already, but we are the only people. Their woman is married to everybody. Because even though most of this law exists, it is no longer being protected. It is no longer being protected. We have laws. Marriage law will introduce. Who will introduce what we do, how we do in this struggle? A body supposed to stand aside and then tell other pro-Biafran group, this your activity is causing problems, stop it. A body is supposed to be responsible by calling our brothers, Urobo, Isekiri, Idoma, Igala, Iyala, Uboborwa, Tinapa, Andoni, Ogoni, Abua, Adua, Ahoda, Otueke, Patani, Abraka, Ole, Osimili, Ndokwa, Anyocha, Izi, Abakeleke, Mbose, Oka, Ngwa, Igbere, Umudike, Arochukwu. Who is there to look into their complaint? Somebody supposed to stand on behalf of us. and everybody register their displeasure. And then the de facto government will weigh into the matter and settle the issues out. And then nobody will blame anybody for their predicament or the challenge they are facing today. Mark my word, not until this government succeed, agitation will continue to be prolonged. Because a lot of things as issue have not been addressed. So if you think that you are going to ginger everybody, intimidate everybody, and then you will have your way, you better do it alone. Now, the de facto government is meant to check all these most excesses. They came up one day to do inauguration. And then Alhaji Asare Dokubo gave his speech. And in giving his speech, issue came up. Hey, self-appointed. Who told you he was self-appointed? Because you were not part of the process. And why is it that you are not part of the process? Because some of you are God already. You can't talk to man. You can't come to the level of man. And so today, if all of us become God, who owns the kingdom? Ekwem lekwem, ishi ekpo yako ahwa. Ishi ekpo yako ahwa. And of course, the Greeks, understanding what they have to do, went on to introduce public law. Create law that monitor how they operate, how they function. Public law were dictated, however, to public service, who were provided and how to function, how they can contribute to this law. They wrote laws that require that people who live in a certain distance from public walls need to dig their own well. They made laws concerning palm oil. They made law restricting the amount of land a man could owe. They made law that allow vendors to be charged with interest before the law court. These are public laws. Every community today have public laws and rules. Who regulate them? Because you do certain things in your community and it's okay, and then in my community we will tolerate it. If we have, as Biafran people, implemented and supported the de facto government, by now the issue between Easy and Nkwo or Efiam would have been looked into. Of course, the government of the day, the government of Nigeria, will not even enable the governors to do what they are supposed to do. Because the more we fight ourselves, the more we kill ourselves, the more they are able to emasculate us and then Islamize us as they want to do and bring jihadists upon us and get us off guard. Groups like Ohaneze Ndibu, groups like World Igbo Congress, Alagbo Development Union, Urobo Union, Ijo Union, all these people indirectly are doing the work of a customary government. They may not be legally recognized, only true by registration. But the truth is that they are doing what is necessary, and that is the purpose they were created. And finally, they have to move on to produce what is known as procedural law. Procedural law were a guideline that told judges how to use other laws. These laws are told in step-by-step details by how he should be enforced. It is just simply, this law now is the customary. And of course, if you have a land dispute, for instance, in modern day Nigeria, and then you go to the court, the court itself, magistrate court, not every court setting have the power or the mandate to look into land disputes. And even the courts that have the mandate to look into that matter, like the customary court, will send you back to your community chiefs. They will send you back to your community head and ask them, review this matter. It is based on the advice of those community chiefs who are looking or who have looked into that matter, they will be the one to advise the customary court judges on their founding and submit their own opinion. You see, whatever the decision the magistrates or the judges of the customary court will take will be determined by the advice given by the head of those community who has actually verified the issues at hand. Now, why am I taking this time to narrate these things? That is to tell you that what is happening now, not until the customary government is introduced, we may end up shouting, we may end up calling Biafra, we may end up, in fact, we are going to spend a very long time here. That is why the de facto customary government are here with a lot of responsibility placed on their shoulder, and they cannot be able to deliver their work until we begin to give them the necessary support. And now we have looked at just only one point: opening up conversation. One of the major jobs for the de facto customary government of Biafra is to open conversation. Is to open conversation among the component nation that make up Biafra. Conversation must be open for political debate. The Biafran de facto customary government, when they begin to perform actively, they must open a conversation for political debate. We keep saying every day, God, our politicians do this, our politicians sell us, our politicians are criminal, all these things you are saying is true. What is the way forward? Who has the capacity to go and confront them to create a platform for political debate? And when last did any progressive organization moved on to challenge the government of the day, requiring for accountability for their stays in office without being biased and serving to protect the interests of particular group of people? And if you like, jump from heaven to earth. If we do not have the support of our politicians in this Biafra agitation, we are not going anywhere. And so somebody must open up political conversation. Now they cannot have the privilege to do all these things in the time past. What he does is threaten them, collect his own share, and then moved back. And most of you are waiting for him now. 150 days, we begin to talk of our Anambra election. And then he still begin to shout, Yoruba. Now, shame has not allowed them to say there will be no election in Biafra land. Now, they are telling you now that Yoruba said there will be no election. Yoruba, if you not like, you not vote. If you not like, wolo come me. Now they cannot have this privilege. He talked to Allen Onyema. Allen Onyema is telling you, build one great Nigeria. And you people have started threatening him, have started reviewing his video, making call. The next thing you do is say Allen Onyema is saboteur. But where is Benjamin Madubugu staying? Is it not Allen Onyema? Is it not Allen Onyema? Now the kind of you people are planning before to project as Igbo president. All those things you people think you know, you are deceiving Biafrans. We know already. And the more the people know the truth, without you telling them the truth, they will see you are not worthy to leave them. And if anybody think they can bend me to their will, that will not happen. I am here to protect the interest of our people, even above and against my own interests. The de facto government, every supporter must get ready, because you have so much responsibility. They must open conversation for customary debate. They must open conversation. Now, understand, people may agree with you, people may disagree with you, but that issue must be discussed. If you can think it, then you can say it. Then you can discuss about it. If it is disturbing you, then there is a call for concern for readdress. Customary conversation. All these things falls under one umbrella. Consultation. You must open conversation. We move around side people, and we ask questions. and they tell you this is what we feel, and then conversation is open. I have given a testimony of what happened in Bayelsa. And of course, then in IPOB, I went with the Bayelsa State Coordinator, Lucky Glubia, among others. We went to one island. And the moment they discovered that we are Biafran people, they were very angry. They gathered thinking it is Nigerian political jamboree. But once we mentioned Biafra, all the old women stood up. They were angry. These are Ijaw women. And their son that brought us there told them, calm them down in their language and say it's okay. All the elders, I have to mention names so that if I'm lying, you go and find out. And that same Lucky Glubia now is doing it now the Kanu Mugu. Because everybody is protecting in the Kanu interest, not the interest of Biafra people. But we know the truth already. We will stand by this truth. We will not shift it 1 inch. I told you now the Kanu this thing. I go nowhere. You people must expel me. If you don't expel me, you must do the right thing. The way the Onyibe was expelled, you don't know what happened. It's unfortunate. And then this boy told the parents to be patient with us. That we came here for something genuine. And then I started addressing them. And then one old woman stood up. Old, strong, black woman, gray hair all over. And she started crying. She pointed out to a bush in that island. And said then she was around 17 years. One of the oldest among those of them that were there. That it was in the night, a ship landed in their island. And there were these people putting on Biafra army clothes. They were looking very tattered, very hungry and exhausted. He said they went to their village and provided them with comfort, succor. They asked them to go and sleep in that bush because it was habitable. They took care of them throughout the night. And they stayed within their community for days. These were deserted Biafran army, the original. And then the woman continued and said some days later, another ship arrived. And this ship was very new and fine. And all the people inside this ship were putting on Biafra army uniform. The same uniform with the first crew. He said these people were very neat. Their shoes were shining. And they thought that, oh, they are all the same. So they welcomed those people. The same way Asaba people welcome Obasanjo and you hear of Asaba massacre, they welcome these people. And they said the community was surrounded. They started killing their men. They gathered them at a particular hall they showed us. They killed the stubborn ones. And then he said Biafra army begin to rape them one after the other. They seize all their goat and fowl. Every animal, domestic animal they have, they seize them. As the woman was saying it, she was crying. And so when we talk about the story of what happened in Enugu, my brother, you have no open conversation to know what happened in Bayelsa. And you don't know their own part of story. And you will be a very wicked and unfair person to conclude that what you are saying is the truth. Those of you are in the Kanu Zombie in IPOB, go and ask Bayelsa State Coordinator, Lucky Igurubia, what I'm saying if it's a lie. And so until we came, this community believed that it was the Igbo people that raped them. The woman was crying. And when she allowed them to cry, and then I stepped in. I said, Mama, look at what you said. You said one soldier came, they were dirty and hungry. He said, yes. And then some weeks later, another soldier came, they were dressed neat. They were neat, very clean. What did this neat one do to those old ones? He said later on that those who were properly dressed killed all those ones that were dirty and hungry. I said to them, look, What happened that day was a simple case of impersonation. Because another woman from Imo State gave me their encounter during the war. That more than 70% of Biafra army around Imo State, according to her, were almost going naked. She told me that the women then, will have to take one wrapper and cut it into 4 and share it for 4 soldiers for them to have cloth to wear. And if the soldiers in Imo State, as of the time this woman gave me this information, this woman I'm talking is a mother of a state coordinator, Imo State coordinator, who witnessed the war, because we want to ask our elderlies to know the truth. So if at that time all people who were in all the Biafran soldiers, most of them in Imo were going naked, how could there be some of them who had neat sheep, who are shiny shoe, who are living an extravagant, luxurious life, be among them? It would have caused problem. I told the woman. Now the truth is that those ones who came first were the true Biafran soldier, and those that came later on were not the true Biafran soldier. I told the woman. I now took time to explain what happened, and they said is the truth. That was when they told me that why they believed me was that those ones that were properly dressed killed those ones that were not properly dressed. Because Nigeria has money, has countries like Brazil who were supporting them with ammunition and arms. They had everything. They were enjoying. And today I know that community know the truth. The grudges died down. And when you call them and say we are doing anything, they will be open to you. And I can tell you that many communities today are still living under the same knowledge of deception. And what do? You call them a bluff. You call them a bluff and shut them up. Now when I give example and I call Judge Onyibe, using myself as a reference point, understand that it's not about me. I am a living testimony. Why will I use another person to give testimony? If I were there during the Biafran war, I will tell you practically everything that I saw. You can't call them a bluff. I came out and I said, look at all this time I work with IPOB. Everybody around me was paid. But I, Judge Onyibe, was not paid. And now asked a rhetorical question. Is it because now that I am not an Igbo man? Do you know what is rhetorical question? And some of you say, why can you say it's not Igbo man? You don't get sense. Don't you have sense? I just asked a rhetorical question. Should I now conclude that it's because I'm not Igbo by the Nigerian mindset, so I will not be paid? And now this is the truth. My native name is Onyema. Onyema. My other brother's name is Azoka. And then after Azoka, you have Onowa. After Onowa, you have Ndubisi. After Ndubisi, you have Onyiwelehi. After Onyiwelehi, all of them Igbo name. And if I will say they are not Igbo, for instance, then I think we are very miserable, because my village name is Igbo. My name is Igbo. How possibly can I say I am not Igbo, except you have a dirty character that is making me to run from you? And the fastest thing you can do is, you can't say it, you shouldn't say it. Why shouldn't I say it? There is marginalization already. There is. I cried before the DOS one day. I said, why do you people want to make a beggar out of me? Now they cannot call you people and ask you people to be supporting me, because they know my condition. I cannot sleep in my house. I have to rent another accommodation to keep my family. Even when I'm a landlord in Port Harcourt. Not landlord of one building, for your information. One of my car is still with the DSS, Mitsubishi Sigma. And now I have to beg to feed. I have to kneel down and begin to pray for people to help me and dash me money for a church card. And then one day, after almost 8 months, in the DOS meeting led by Chike Doziemo for Nnamdi Kanu, I said, I remember Nnamdi Kanu asked you people to be supporting me from our money. But this is 6 months on. And I remember in that very request, nobody supported me. Only Mazi Obide. Only Mazi Obide. That is why I tell all of you. Mazi Obide and Mazi Uchuka for Mefo. What I have in my heart for them cannot be. You can't change it. There is nothing anybody can do. Just that I know how to set my priority right. Mazi Uchuka for Mefo and Mazi Obide. I didn't say they cannot change you. It is only God and them that know. But I say the regard I have for them, you can't negotiate it. And Mazi Obide has always outspoken. I called on them and said, come, you hear this guy in Eku all the time. Is he not being looked into? He was the only person that gave me support. And then I remember it's 60,000. I still have all the record. And then Chika knows him as a liar he is. When he was to say Onyibe, we have heard you. Before I finish blabbing, Nenayanya, our head of finance, Ukonji Uwala of Biafra. He said, yes, sorry. Nnamdi Kanu sent me message about that before. Sorry, I couldn't say it. That is 8 months or 6 months on. Oh. Our leader said, Onyendu said I should not give you any money again, that he will take care of you. Chika said, now you have heard, so you can contact Onyendu. And that is because when you come to Nnamdi Kanu, as they look at them, say, get out there. If you go to Aruchukwu again, what I will do to you. You are born on Keron. And then somebody say, no, you don't got to say it. You don't got to say it. My guy, you must open conversation. Everybody say what is in their mind. Most of these were not intentional. Most of these sins we have committed against ourselves are not intentional. And how will they know they are not intentional if you are covering it? And then I called Nnamdi Kanu and said, this is situation of thing. He said, okay, I will do something. I see what I do about it. Till today. I cried one day. I said, why do you people want to make a beggar out of me? But I was ready. Kwademe yijelu. Nisha wakwole yo ne mwakule yo ebijeko ijelu. Nisha wakwole yo ne mwakule yo ebijeko ijelu. Shall be well with my mother wherever she is. Let us continue. There is need to open conversation for customary debate. Every tradition differ. Everybody issue have to be reviewed. There is need to open conversation for security. Now they have changed the name of Ebubago to Bakassi. We look at the adoption of, in fact, I won't go detail, but all the things happening in Ebonyi, Imo, in Biafra land, we know already. There must be open conversation to discuss the issue of security. Who is discussing it? Who? I applaud the governors of the Southeast. At least this is my opinion. So when you call, don't tell me they are doing nothing. Say your own and leave what I said alone. I applaud them because among themselves, they came on to open up a security conversation. It led to what gave birth to Ebubago. And now, this means that Ebubago in Imo State can easily go and help Ebubago in Ebonyi. Because Ebubago remained the body that was inaugurated to manage security issues. Of course, the Fulani menace in our land, which is what brought us here. Now, the next thing that followed wasn't Nnamdi Kanu. I flag off my ESM, my unknown gunmen. I flag them off now. They shall be defending Benue. They shall be defending Idoma. They shall defend Biafra land. They will soon defend Oduduwa. Who did you have conversation with? And people can see the level of fraudulent mindset there. And the governor said no. Biafra introduced his own. They had conversation. No Anambra person condemned the security outfit that was inaugurated by the Ubi of Onitsha and Anambra people. Only Nnamdi Kanu. And you think these things are going to go down well? Is it not why there is so much division now between South and South-East in this agitation platform? But then, if the members of the Biafra de facto customary government will stand up to their challenge with your support, because they can't stand up to the challenge without your support, all these things will be taken care of. They need to open conversation to resolve conflict debate, and the overall agenda of our people. When this is done, you have the following advantage. Opening conversation help you to know the really problem. You help you to find out what the issue really is. And something you know is a problem already, you have solved it even 50%. All these challenges we are going, we continue to grow. We will continue to split. The reason is because Nigerian is designed to cause confusion in our life. All their activities create distraction within our system, physically and spiritually. We can never truly fall in love with Nigeria. No matter how comfortable we are, we end up living in fear, in suspicion. And as far as this tendency continue to surface in our life, people will always rise up to agitate. If the experience of the generation of 1967 and 1970 did not stop the emergence of Mozob, did not stop the emergence of Ogoni Bill of Rights, did not stop the move of Adakaboru resource control, did not stop for IPOB before self-determination. Is it all these things you people are doing that will stop anybody? And the more Nigerian continue to undermine our position as a people, the more Nigerian is going to make the people harden their mind. The more they will make us to think of how to improvise. The more they will eventually initiate a state of anarchy. If Nnamdi Kanu has allowed us to go together, everybody forming one impenetrable unit, and we know who they will kill. But today it is easy for them to begin to sink down our youth in the name of IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu and slaughtering them. And they will, Nnamdi Kanu zombie will come and tell you, hey, 20 soldiers died. The Opus of the man was attacked. 3 of his bodyguard was killed. But you are not telling them that in Aruchuku, almost one community they are living aside the camp now. Why are you not telling Biafrans now that the activities of unknown gunmen has chased away one community? But who will go for these people rescue? I am very happy for the community that hosted those Igbo refugees. I'm happy for them. Supposing those communities do not have such structures in place, who would have taken care of these fugitives? I mean, these wanderers, this IDP camp, internally displaced person. Who would have helped them? Now, you see, there is so much work for the de facto customary government to do. Understand, this is just one. The advantage is that in their present, they will be able to investigate the whole matter and arrive at a conclusive end for the overall interest of the people and not for one man. That is one of the disadvantages. And then the disadvantage is of not opening conversation is that a lot of people will live with grudges in their mind. They will harbor grievance. And I tell you, on daily basis, it grows worse. On daily basis, it eats everyone up. It makes you to have evil intention towards other people. You have no idea. It makes evil to begin to grow. The disadvantages are numerous. The disadvantages are numerous. That is why, having considered the position, cool-headed individual, having considered the predicament and the unwanted situation we have seen ourselves, they agree to set up the de facto government. If Mazuchi Okafor and Alhaji Asare Dokubo can on the same platform and commune as brothers that they are, my brother, there is nothing impossible. I remember the broadcast Asare made against Mazi Nandekano. It was like a way of trying to patronize Mazuchi Mefo about religion. Mazuchi Mefo came out, he indirectly antagonized what Asare said, and it was like, all of you, you are on your own. But now they understand that the difference between them is not about them but about our people. Both of them came together. Who will believe that Chukwuemeka Iruanya, Uche Nasiebu will sit together and deliberate on what to do? Nobody is anybody's fool. And nobody's interest is more important than any other body interest. Only one thing is at stake. That is a nation that must be reborn. That is Biafra. Any other thing, my brother, you are hallucinating. And so, we as the Biafra Nation Alliance, our role is simple, like every other pro-Biafran group. We are here to give them every necessary support. We are here to make available human capacity. We are here to make or provide them with rightful and genuine information. We are here to tap their shoulder and ask them to continue that we are with them. We are here to make them understand that they did not go alone. The people sent them. And so that is why we see every pro-Biafran group doing what they are doing should understand that all of us have the responsibility to support the Biafra de facto government. You have so many ways to support. You can support them financially. You can support them morally, giving them advice. You can support them by praying wherever you are for them. You can support them in numerous ways. You can contact them. They will tell you what you need to do, what you need to know. And of course, you keep seeing evidence of the achievement of all the pro-Biafran group from now on. In our next study, we will also take time to review other aspects of their duty. I just look at only one. Opening up of conversation. Very important. And of course, at this moment, our lines are open. Our WhatsApp line is 070-815-45642. 070-815-45642. And then the direct line is 081-221-52971. 081-221-52971. And of course, if you are not able to access my studio line, if you are not able to get in contact, connect to my studio line, you are free to call my personal private WhatsApp or other social media platforms. Of course, my main Facebook is under suspension by Facebook, but of course, in no time, it will still be back. So if you're calling my messenger, you will not be able to get it. But other social media platform, you can have it. I'll be back in a minute.
Mommy, don't cry. Daddy, hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Now we be the Biafra, hello Freedom is here. Is here. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. You walk it up, hey, Papa God, I want to thank you for this beautiful thing what you did do for us. Finally Biafra is here, so make you never give up. I know yes, they killed us many years back. I know yes, they try to pull us down, but this kinda work this way. Thank you for all the good things. Now you don't make us better. Now everything done better. Now thank you for the good things. See everything done better. We're living fine. Brother Kaiga waniru Kaika kulanyo. Brother Biko gawaniru. It makes me cry when I see my brothers being killed. Nigerian soldiers keep on killing us because we said for freedom. Yeah, take my life, but you can never take away that joy. Freedom is ours. We got what it takes to live. Hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Now we be the Biafra. Hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Awumoye Biafra, hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Freedom is here. Hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Awumoye Biafra, Biafra. My country, Biafra. Yes, we never give up. Yes, we no go give up. Never give up. No, they give up. My country, Biafra. We no go give up. Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. Everywhere you go, we have what it takes. We have what it takes. Biafra, yeah, yeah, yo. Mommy, don't cry. Daddy, hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Now we be the Biafra. Hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Awumonye Biafra. Hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Now we be the Biafra. Hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Awumonye Biafra. Hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Freedom is here. Hello Biafra, hello Biafra. Awumoye Biafra. Freedom, freedom is here. Is here. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. You walk it up,
Yes, caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can hear you, Onyibe.
Yeah, sorry for
A
keeping
great
you
evening
on.
from
Good
here.
evening from here, my brother. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much for the good work. We will not relent. We will not give up. We go nowhere. I still remain your humble servant, Mazi Chidera Dogale, from Akani to Makani to Mission Bend in Umuahia province, Biafra land. We cannot be able to change who we are. We cannot be able to remove ourselves from what we are. It doesn't matter what we see. I love your the way you analyze everything this night. You see, you talk about a lot of things concerning our people. But first of all, before I go on to contribute tonight broadcast, I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending your time zone. And you better cue in a better things. You better use your life and make it a meaningful thing. That is why de facto government, Biafran Nation Alliance, Beam Masop, uh, all the whole pro Biafra that are agitating to make sure that we go back home are doing everything because we don't need a tyrant. We don't need somebody that become a monopoly of anything in our land. What we need is our own freedom. A place you can be able to deliberate. That's a good one. A platform for everybody to come and bring his own opinion and debate on that. If you want to be a Biafra, or I don't want to be a Biafra, or this is what we want, or this is what we don't want, or this is how Biafra, we need it. Not where somebody will tell you, I am the only tree that talk, that bear fruit. No, it doesn't work that way. That is why the federal government are here, and also to make an avenue with this Biafra Human Rights Radio or another platform that we have, so that people can be able to express their own feeling. They can be able to talk. They can be able to debate. Because in this world we are in, even in American government, before they do anything, they do debate. They come open and debate. You see, the world is no longer in those days. Somebody can be able to say, whatever I say stands. It's a time for all people to come out and talk. And then we can be, after talking, we can be able to pick one or two things. Then we put it together and make it happen. You cannot be able to sitting in somewhere we don't even know where you are sitting. We don't even know what you are doing. You say, I gave you a command. I say this thing stands. No. That is not in a world we are into. Even in your family, you cannot be able to come and tell your children this is what is going to. One of them will ask you a question. Daddy, mommy, this thing you are saying is not the way it stands. It's not the way it's supposed to work. Why are you saying this thing? Because we know we are in a new era. We are in a place that we can be able to stand and talk to each other. We are in a place where we can be able to deliberate and pick something and make it to be meaningful. It doesn't matter whoever. That is why we must pick up our own phone or pick up our own to ask a question, to find out what the federal government is doing, to find out how we can be able to restore our land, to find out how we can be able to hold the people that call themselves our governor accountability for what they are doing in our land. We are not in a military regime. We are not in a time of India me. We are not in a time of tyrant will come and dictate what is going to happen to us. We are in an era to do something with our life. We are in an era to make sure that the same thing we preach, we practice it. That is why people will say that we don't want to be in a government of Nigeria where nobody have opinion, where protest doesn't work. We want a place that we can be able to protest when something is wrong. That is why all of us are here. But now, when you may look at it, what is happening within Nnamdi Kanu, people don't even have mouth to speak again. I dare anyone that say that people in Biafra land still have a mouth to speak. Make your inquiry. Find out if what I'm saying tonight is true or not. Find out if it's truth or not. Because Nnamdi Kanu has put fear in them. He's threatening them with death. He's threatening them with death. Anybody that stand up and challenge the atrocity that Nnamdi Kanu is doing, they call them a threat call. That is what is going on in Biafra land all over. It's not only in Biafra land. You can check your platform, the Onyibe platform this night. You will find out if what I'm saying is truth or lie. That is not how democracy works. That is not that is not the thing that we want. We say that we want a Biafra where everybody have his own opinion. We say we want a Biafra where everyone can be able to stand and talk. We say that we want a Biafra where we can be able to have our own opinion. If you want to be a Biafra, you can talk. If you don't want to be a Biafra, you can decide where you want to belong. But now what is going on? Only one man can tell you that he's not a saboteur. When only one man telling you it's not a saboteur, only all the whole people are saboteurs. Something is wrong somewhere. You better use your thinking faculty very well. You better use your thinking faculty very well. We don't want to live in a bush. We don't want to stay in a bush. We don't want to die in a bush, as they always say that Fulani are raping our mother, raping our sister, raping our everything, raping inside the bush. But now he's the one that chasing us inside the bush now. How can he tell us to go inside the bush during the rainy season while he's sitting inside the house with his own family, enjoying every good thing? Is that the kind of freedom you want? Is that the type of freedom you want? This is a time for you to rise up and say enough is enough. This is a time for you to rise up and say, if there's anything that governor want to talk, let everyone have it in open. We don't want this sign and seal and deliver secret with envelope again in our land. Nobody have a right to decide for us. Have a way to do things. All Biafrans, they deliberate. They have their own opinion to say, yes, this is right, this is wrong. Not one man. You will tell us there's a way to contact you. We don't want a way to contact you. Anything to talk. Make it open to Biafra. Not when you come, you campaign for the other party. You say you are agitating for Biafra. You say you are agitating for Biafra, but you campaigning for APC, or you are campaigning for ABGA, or you are campaigning for PDP. We say everybody take your own voter's card, put it inside. We want this 1999 constitution to come down. We want this referendum to ask everybody, do you still want to belong to this marriage? Do you still want to continue in this marriage? We don't want to be in a place that someone will be in his house and say they have delivered and signed and sealed and to you. How? Any nobody want anything. We want to deliberate it, make it open. We want our people enjoy Shekiri Anna no good Igbo. All of us must know what is in sign and seal. All of us must believe in what our de facto government is saying. Not one man standing and telling us something. Enough of this crap. Enough of this nonsense. Enough of this mess. This is the type of thing that are making our people, they don't know where to go, where to left or right. Before I left this microphone, I will remind you again. Go and make your inquiry if Nandikal is not a dictator in our land. If he's not threatening people with his own gun, whatever he called them. He say he have an Eastern Security Network. They are protecting our bush. Why are they outside now? Why are they using the unknown gunmen and disturbing our people? Why are they doing all this mayhem? You keep quiet. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Let them stop this mess. Let them stop this nonsense. Nnamdi Kanu is not only one that have Biafra. He's nobody in the land of Biafra. Biafra occupy many ethnic, and everybody have his own opinion. Everybody have his own right to speak. Everybody have to choose what they want. Everybody have a right to stand and say this is wrong, this is right. You can't tell us you are the only one man that to speak for us. No, it doesn't work that way. Even in our Igbo land, even in my village, it doesn't work that way. That is not how things put together. Wake up, my people. Wake up, my people. Make your own inquiry. Find out if your people are moving freely. Find out if your people are outspoken like the way they are before Nnamdi Kanu start this threatening things. Before Nnamdi Kanu start this criminality ways. Threaten people with guns and say that if you speak, you die. If you don't speak, you die. That is no way things works. We want Biafra. We want freedom. We want a place we can be able to have freedom of expression. You say you are running away from Nigerian dictator, but now Nnamdi Kanu and his own IPOB is worse than dictator. He worse than Nigeria now in Igbo land. It's worse than Nigeria in Igbo land. That is not what we want. I stand by. I still remain your humble servant, Chidera Dogele. It doesn't matter what comes our way. We go nowhere because we have choose to speak the truth. We can call all of us saboteur. It doesn't matter. If all of us can be saboteur, only you are not saboteur. Something is wrong. That's all I have to say. Join the FACTO government. Join Biafran Nation Alliance. Join any pro-Biafra. Beam myself. Make sure you bring your own opinion. Togetherness, we stand. Togetherness, we achieve our goal. Good night from here. Thank you, Onyibe.
Thank you very much. Of course, that is the African administrator for the Biafra Nation. Thank you very much, Odiogene, for joining me on this broadcast. We have come to a different stage, and the way things used to operate or function in the previous stage cannot work now. You can fight with it, you can drag it, you can try to analyze it, but you will then begin to understand in the end the importance of capacity building, the importance of developing a structure that will enhance, that will protect, that will be able to provide every necessary requirement for us to restore Biafra. A lot is at stake. Most of us cannot perceive it. You come to think about it. Who are the people who deliberately don't want Biafra to be restored? If you know who they are, then find out why is it that they don't want Biafra to be restored. And if you're able to find out, and then try to visage what they will do to make their desired aim accomplish. Caller on the line, your name and where you're calling from.
Good evening, Doctor. This is Ada Biafra.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for the good work you are doing for Biafra. As I always say, Biafra will never forget your level. And I want to thank everyone, especially Magic for giving us this platform for helping us to speak out, for us, for all of us to know. I know that many people have known the truth. Many have come to the knowledge of the truth, but they do not want to talk. Everyone close their mouth because the volume of the evil and the plan is too much for us. But I thank God for the Biafra and the FACTO customary government, because I know that the people who are there will do the needful, so that they will help us. More especially for these youth that are going around killing themselves to stop. I know that they are working many things because he has made his occultic word to all these children now have entered occult. So they are ready to go and do anything that will cause their death. They don't care. But I know that one day, a day is coming when this blood will stop flowing. But I hope that our people are listening. Not those that they were paid to come and attack every program. They will come and be saying ganja weed, nonsense radio, nonsense all these things. I know that many people are listening. You know that there are people who do not care about Biafra that we are about to reach. But the handwork of this criminal called Kano, he destroyed everything. He thought he would succeed though. But I know he will never ever succeed. He will never ever succeed. For those that are looking for people to know, it's because many of them are drawn back. And then if these are sure that these people are not just coming there to eat money, but they have not queried the one that have eaten. This IPO thing now, I don't know if they are about to turn it around and give it another name or what. I don't know what they are trying to do. But I told them, if I am in a position, they will give the account and pay for everything, every bit of money that Biafrans have put into their hands. But I'm not in the position, but I know that Chukwu Kadama, who is able to do all things, will fight, because he knows how he suffered in order to pay that money to the hand of these criminals, and they just close everywhere and want to eat that money. Well, I thank God for I know that Biafra and the FACTO customary government will reach out even to those of Biafrans that have said that they are not Biafrans. Those that have rejected Biafra because of what they have seen in people that are using Biafra for criminals. I know that all those things will be, everything will be fine in no distant time. And I understand, and I want to tell people that join the nearest Biafra Nation Alliance family and save yourself. All those in Biafra land that are still clapping hands for now, I don't know why. Is it that they killed your brother because you are 7 in number and they killed 2? You are still remaining 6 or 5. The thing doesn't touch you. I don't know whether they have I don't know whether killing is nothing to them or anymore or what. You should come out from there, because there is no hope in Nnamdi Kanu IPOK. No hope. No hope. Come out, let us fight for Biafra that we have been fighting for, not knowing that they might have sold us. Come out, come and join the truthful people. Let us fight for Biafra that we are fighting for, so that we will restore Biafra in peace and honest and truth, that we swear to restore Biafra in peace and honest. May Chukwukadama bless you, Dr. Judgment. You are a truthful man. And God will bless you. No evil formed against you shall prosper. No evil formed against the Biafra de facto customary government shall prosper. No evil formed against our daddy in the Lord, Onyibe, shall prosper. He's such a good man that he don't want anybody to be hurt. He bless all of them. Dr. Kado, Grandpa, he never ever back in restoring Biafra. God will bless all of them. So Kadema will remember those who are fighting for Biafra, not knowing that we are being sold. God will bless all of them. And what I am urging them is not to give up on Biafra. Not because they know the truth that if Ekperimakano have sold us, they will give up on Biafra. No, come, let us continue fighting. Biafran watchmen continue to watch over Biafra. Nothing will happen. We will restore Biafra. We will restore it in peace and honest and in truth, so that the next generation will not suffer. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to your program. God bless.
Thank you very much, Ada Biafra. Our people must understand the stage that we are at this moment. It is a stage where we must deploy every instrument for self-determination. And there are no people, there are no group that is able to achieve this. This is just the stage of collaboration. The people must come together. The Igbo leaders in the north, and of course the Federal Capital Territory, has issued a disclaimer statement that they don't know IPOB. They are not sympathizers of the proscribed group. That IPOB should be dealt with. Now, if this publication is truly coming from the Igbo leaders in the north, can't you see something is wrong? We are the ones saying, come back home, come back home. And now some group are telling you, you are on your own. We are not with you. We are not sympathizers. We don't even know what you are doing. You are proscribed already and you should be dealt with. And then, the normal or ordinary average Biafran at this moment will jump up and say, they are slave. Don't mind them, they are not our leader. Oh, they are janjaweed. But while you are saying this, the truth remains that you cannot force anybody into Biafra. You cannot change everybody's opinion. The best you can do is to woo them. The best you can do is to make them see reason, which they already know. They are saying reasons already. They already know already. So whether you say it or you don't say it, they are just looking at you. I will have to play a clip for us to understand the danger we are facing as a people.
BBC Pidgin, and we dey Ameku, Hafia local government area, of course, in Abia State, and it been get some kata wey happen. We be say if you don't watch the news and or listen to the news now, some people been they scattered. They call them IDPs for English. And some people they scattered. They know if the clash been happen. They say allegedly between soldiers and unknown gunmen, the thing been happen, and they complain harassment. So they even the traditional rulers of the villages where they are affair, they can't complain, say then they harass and then intimidate their people. This one can lead to the people where they some villages for Ohafia. The clash been happen for Amangu or Ohafia, but the people can't they scattered across Amepu, Amuke, Okon, Elu. They scatter for native compounds, and for some days now they don't they Amepu or Hafia. They there with some of their relatives. Some people they open native compounds for them. The last batch, 9 then they so here we be say they want transport go back their place where they stay. Ama. Good morning.
Morning, my dear.
Waiting happen we be say una day here for some days.
Anyway, I don't know the actual thing happen. All I know is that we save ourselves. We had a gunshot. Then we run away from our village.
How many days una don't day here now?
Today is Saturday, Sunday. Today make it 6 days.
Oh, na don't day here.
Yes.
Na come on a place for
on Saturday.
We come up Friday, Saturday. I hear say they transport people go back. Please don't return to that place. Now the last set of people with this.
Yes.
Yeah. I say happen. Waiting. We won't know. Not just they hear gunshot come on come out. I mean, waiting. Really happen.
We don't know.
Make I help my auntie small. Me say Pastor like this. I know the town. After my Abuja come. Say my country myself. If you see me, you say I know where. What my this man is I know where. As I say my country to myself, as they give me drugs, my mother don't continue push for food. My can't drink. What you hear now? Everywhere. Even our zinc self they flat them. Now I don't enter on that bed. Tell my mother, say mother, I don't top bed. So if they come, they say an old woman they will leave me.
And I don't know where the gun they've come from.
We don't know what you do. They see now, but everybody soldier where we are tired wrestling with one kind of restaurant, they fight anyhow. Now I'm here. Tell my mother, I don't top bed. As I do on that bed, my mother say in the fear, in mind, even myself, everybody. As I say, fiti like that they me. Now so me from there with my jungle level. Now I come out. As I come out, people don't carry by everybody. They run, they come out. Now so we go inside bush. We go sleep for 2 days. Now
inside bush
2 days.
2 days.
From there we go follow corner from because no people follow this road because they say they here. Now say everywhere just this. Now so we come water from bush. Go reach there and the 9th. Now this say I make go off here. As we just enter that side, they come call us. Say we come relax here. No be only here we plenty. If you go that side, you go see under we plenty there and that put there. But God don't help us. Food they give us food. They chop. They bath.
So everybody for your village, Amango or Hafia,
Amango, nobody remain that place.
No one remain, even
if you say
even the blinds, even the blinds.
If you go there and go video our house, many places don't scatter around.
They say we hear say them burn houses there.
No, they burn houses. They burn our houses. Not say they burn house. Not say they say. I say they burn our houses. Not be one, not be two, not be three, not be four. Plenty house for Amango that they don't scatter around. They don't bring motors, cars, everything. That machine.
Hope say nobody die.
People die now. How you tell nobody die? People die. People die.
Many.
Now for one front now they see the people where they shoot. My own place where they because our heart just there for front. So it's tired. Even as I tell like this, my mind they do. If I hear people now, my mind will go up. Now one man come here, can't give up medicine. Even now you see say medicine in my pocket. Now they take now so that my mind go they come down. Small thing, my mind just boom. We do that offense.
For like 6 days now, all of them don't day here. They live where with you now.
Even me to go now, they fear to go.
Many of us take
I fear to go, but I don't get to go. I must go take my medicine. So
this place one a day now, and they take care of now.
Very well. As I tell you, see my bed, I don't chop. I don't chop.
3 square meal.
I don't chop, I don't believe, I don't
morning,
bow.
afternoon, and the evening.
They really try for us.
Now they are where the place where they carry, or they take on go. We hear say some of them they don't carry some of them.
They don't carry many people. They do. Most of them come. Even as you here and stay away for post.
They are where they carry on.
For my own place, now they carry
back to now. But waiting I get to tell the people of this community.
May they help us, so don't be say wait to get plenty. May they help us. This thing now don't tire us. We don't have to go to this again. Like because this day now some people I hide. No have to stay again. May they help us, I beg.
The government of Abia State, which one
may they help us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Now, so it be here now for Amanko Hafia. Now, the last batch of the IDP where they transport today, they say they don't stay here for like 6 days now due to waiting happen. All these places go down to some other side now. Native compounds where they open. People will get relatives, they allow them stay with their relatives because of the things where happen. This place now where we did so now Amango or Hafia and Ameku or Hafia rather, and where the thing happen now Amango or Hafia. Most of them they scattered around Ameku, they scattered to Amuke, Okon and Elu. As you see now the last set of the IDPs be this. Then plenty past this, but bus, we even miss some of the bus for road. Where don't they carry the people go? This na BBC Pidgin.
Now the question is, the war has not started. We have IDP camp already in Igbo land, Abia State. But they won't tell you. The only thing they will tell you now, the can will tell you, hey, 20 policemen go to heaven by unknown gunmen. These people have spent 6 days in that community. Some have spent 4 days in the bush. All these things are happening because the people, there is no conversation. In one of my previous broadcasts, I made it clear. I said what Nigerian does is, if you kill one army, they will burn down that village and nothing will happen. Because the people that would have stopped them, you are not in conversation with them. Not until we get to the stage mature enough to defend our land at all front, in all front. My brothers and sisters, it's a suicide. It's simply a suicide mission. Thinking you are doing anything. And of course, at this moment, I'm inching closer to the end of this program. Tomorrow is another day. We continue from where we stop. But of course, you are encouraged. Look for the nearest Biafra Nation family and join. Because the journey has just begun. There will be so many turning. And if you are not ready, for what is to come, there will be records of a lot of collateral damage. I still remain George Onyibe, and I sign off from here. Good night. God be with you.